So online shopping has increased where almost 50% of the people nowadays shop online. They don't go to a retail store. They don't go to a grocery store. Even down to like shit like underwear and stuff like that. People just buy it online, right? They buy their shoes online. They'll buy winter tires online. They'll buy a fucking umbrella. Like they buy everything online now. And it's gotten to the point now that most people will, because they've already been doing online shopping, if they need to buy a new product, they will spend so much time researching it online then because they dread having to walk into a store.
Yep.
Right? So let's say, the winter season's here, you need to get winter tires. Instead of going in and speaking to an expert about, this tire with this rating, what is it, this tire with it, they're going to go and try to do the research themselves and then size the tires and buy them. And very often when people buy something for the first time, they make a mistake, they have to return it and so on. So I want to talk about the pros and cons of online shopping, and I've got a different angle to it. So do you girls do online shopping? And if you do, what stuff do you buy regularly? Like, let's say if it was like, once or twice a month online. So we can start over here, Luma, with you.
Well, this month it was like Christmas presents.
Okay. I mean, that's really
But usually it's just like essentials, like shampoo, stuff like that.
Food?
No, not usually food. Sometimes like Uber Eats, but only if stuff is like closed, and that's my only option.
So shampoo, toilet paper, like dish soap?
Not toilet paper, no. Online toilet paper is way too much.
So you're saying
mostly essentials, but like whenever I crave something, I will look online and see like, is there something like that I can find online and save myself the time of going in?
Okay.
And if so, then yeah.
Okay. And Cheyenne, yourself?
Mostly groceries, but I also do like monthly memberships to things like BarkBox for my dogs. So things I can't necessarily get into a store, like at a reasonable price. Like for $30, I get some pretty durable toys for my dog, where if you go to a pet store, it's $30 for one toy. Plus I get treats, right? So something like that I can justify, but like groceries, I do on a regular basis.
So we're talking like fruits, vegetables,
main courses, frozen foods, coffee, teas, pantry foods, everything, dog foods. And you got to understand, because when we buy dog food, it's a minimum of a 9-kilogram bag, right? So it's massive.
Yeah.
So the way we view it is $10 a month for delivery. We can order from Walmart, Longo's, Metro, wherever we want to order from, Great Canadian Superstore. And it's all delivered to our front door. And I don't have to carry it. Yeah. We don't got to carry it.
Okay. Melissa, yourself?
Lazy.
Whoa, that was below the belt.
I don't actually do a lot of regular online shopping. Most time you'll see me shopping is if it's like a holiday or a special thing coming up. I guess the most regular thing I would do is buy clothes.
Online?
Yeah.
And do you find that you're like returning a lot of stuff?
No, because I've shopped so much for clothes that I'm starting to understand, depending on where I'm ordering from, where the sizes vary.
Okay.
And I also am really big on reading reviews before I make a purchase.
Yeah, me too.
So.
Okay.
How often do you research one item?
A lot.
Before purchasing?
Every single item I purchase.
Are you one of those person that like scours until it goes on sale?
So how much time do you spend?
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh.
How much time do you spend literally waiting to order one? Instead of just going to a store and looking at it and
trying it on
and leaving. How much time are you spending researching reviews?
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad.
Lazy.
I am lazy.
See?
I will admit it.
But do you also enjoy that? Because you're online, right? You're sitting on your phone.
Yeah, it's like a little break for my brain, having to think of logical things all the time. It's kind of like mind numbing for me.
But you also kind of get some kind of gratification, like, oh yeah, like it's on sale. I figured it out. This is the best thing for me. There's so many reviews. So kind of like a Sherlock Holmes thing.
Yeah, sort of. Because like the app I shop on, everything's on a good deal. Okay.
So my take on this is that what's happened, especially since COVID, right? COVID was really, I find, the testing grounds for online shopping. Yeah. And nowadays, like the commercials you see for Uber Eats, they got like, fucking Yetis instead of spaghetti and all that shit, right? So you can order, like I said, underwear and socks from Uber Eats. You get a shovel, like you can get salt for your driveway.
Our store is on Uber Eats.
So weed, you can get that as well.
Yeah.
So my take on this is again, I always like to play the devil's advocate in some of this stuff. So the pros are it saves time, right? You can get great deals. Other thing as well, right? You do.
Well, like for example,
you said about your dog stuff, right?
Yeah, you do. But like then I also have a reverse world where our store is on Uber Eats and we don't put any sales on Uber Eats. But right now we have stuff in store for 30% off. So customers that are paying extra in delivery are paying more for a product than if they had literally just gotten an Uber themselves and came to the store.
But I thought you said when you buy like pet food,
it depends where you go.
The dog toys and all that.
That's
you get a better
BarkBox.
deal.
That's BarkBox. So that's like a monthly subscription. So I pay the company. Yeah. So I do online shopping, like monthly subscriptions like that, right? But
so my thing is the following, right? When before COVID, and also if you go back to the previous generation, there was no such thing as online shopping. Today, people are annoyed if they have to go grocery shopping. It's a pain in the ass. I got to drive. I got to find a parking spot. Go inside. There's people everywhere. I got to wait in line to pay for the shit. I got to bag it all because they don't give you any bags anymore. Take it to my car. Then from my car, unload it, carry it inside. Whereas if I just go online, it's all done and it saves me a bunch of time. Does it really save you a lot of time? I don't know. I find that what happens is you end up restricting yourself to trying something different. You order the same shit every week. When you go to a grocery store, you might want to buy something else, try a different vegetable or fruits or some other kind of food or cook something different. And the biggest drawback I find is the socializing part. You become antisocial. You get annoyed by the smallest shit. Your patience is gone. Waiting, being stuck in traffic on the way there, finding a effing parking spot. You have to put gas in your car. If it's snowing out, you got to remove the snow off your car. Then you go inside, there's people everywhere. And then you got to wait in line again at the cash. So I feel that what it's doing is it's isolating people. We don't go out anymore, right? So you have to look somewhat civilized if you're going to go to the grocery store. The lights are really bright in there, right? You're not going to just show up in your pajamas. Some people do, but you're going to make an effort, right? And if it's a family going, it's actually an outing. It should be looked at as a fun thing to do because you're spending money instead of it being a pain in the ass. And so what online shopping has done is it's created that attraction, that mirage that, you're going to save a bunch of time and you have to park, you have to do this and refunds or you can return stuff, blah, blah. But like Melissa just said, if you're looking at certain products, you might spend an hour and a half doing, and sometimes even longer.
Yeah.
And you still won't buy it.
Yeah.
And the next day you continue your search again.
Yeah.
And then finally you might buy it or you might not. But you just wasted 2 fucking hours researching a dress.
You know how many times I've shoved things into the wish list because I'm still not sure?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Now, another thing as well, too, is what these companies have done, and we think that they've made it more convenient for us, but they've just basically, by brainwashing us into believing that it's for our advantage, they've just bought themselves a loyal customer. So now your options are limited. Like I know we were talking earlier, you were saying if you get stuff from Uber Eats, you can get stuff from Longo's and blah, blah. But either way, it's only those chain of stores.
But it's not like I could go to No Frills. It's
no.
Exactly.
Or a local mom pop place.
Costco. Like I get what you're saying. Exactly. Or
even
local
like a
mom
local
pop.
bakery.
Yep.
Or a local vegetable place.
No.
They're not on there.
No, and most
so it's
of
only
them,
the big corporations.
No, well, like also we're a mom and pop store.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of people don't realize from the retailer perspective is it's $425 roughly a month for the Uber fees. So your first $425 in earnings from Uber just goes to your monthly payment. Then everything after that is provided. And because we're a 19 plus store, we have to provide our own drivers. They don't provide our drivers. So we have to then subcontract our own drivers, which is also more money a month.
But do you think that someone like Loblaws gives a shit about that
No, but
fee?
a bakery, a small mom and pop bakery,
can't afford it.
They can't afford that.
So what I'm saying is, even though we may think we have selection, no, you're still dealing with these multi-billion-dollar corporations, right? And what they've done is they've made you believe that you don't have enough free time in the day to go buy groceries yourself. That's bullshit. When I was younger, my family, my parents, there was a bunch of kids in my family, and we all went to the grocery store. And my father worked full time, but he found time to take us to grocery, and we actually enjoyed it. We all went out. It was an outing. Someone got to choose something, some kind of, cookies or whatever the hell it was. But the whole family bonded. You went there, you bumped into your neighbor or somebody else or your friend from school, blah, blah. Now there's none of that.
Now nowadays, nobody wants to bump into their neighbor.
And it's like, if you're saying that you want to free up some of your time, so please tell me, if you're doing online shopping, what are you doing with your free time? You're online.
Researching dresses.
Yeah. Or some other shit.
Taking a
It's
poop.
not as if
Scrolling.
you got some free time now, so you and your family are going to go and make a fucking snowman, or you're going to go ice skating with your kid, or throw the ball around.
It's not like you're having a positive
You're not,
experience
no.
to replace.
It's just replacing it with more online time. So, and you would have thought that technology, with the advancements that we've had, that it should have freed up a lot more time for us.
Mm-hmm.
And things should have gotten easier. But no, now we're so busy, we can't even fucking go and buy a pair of socks. We can't go and buy a dress. You can't go out and buy fruits and vegetables anymore on your own. You're just too busy. No, you're not.
I
You're not
also
too
think
busy.
I think it also creates too, like I think it also relates back to what we were also talking about when it comes to mental health, because I think when people went through COVID, some people didn't realize how much of being isolated. They developed anxiety disorders.
Mm-hmm.
People that have never experienced anxiety or depression before in their life started experiencing it. And then it got to a point where even when they could leave the house, they couldn't leave the house. It's so much anxiety. It was too much for them. And like my dad's agoraphobic, for example. He'll pass out. He goes in and out of consciousness. Like, it's crazy. So it's like the same thing happens with people that like, and I hate saying this, the people that at least had some sort of experience with depression and anxiety before, they kind of knew what it felt like, how to kind of cope with it to some degree. But people that had never experienced that was like, that was a shock to the system.
Even the people who did experience it before, I think it was even worse for them.
Fair enough too.
Because now they couldn't get in touch with their therapist. They couldn't go for their counseling. Now they had even less interaction. And the people who didn't already have any kind of issues to begin with, what happened is people just became antisocial.
Yes.